else mute their mics until their turn to talk. So that way we don't pick up feedback. Okay.
What?
A little after 7 o'clock.
What am I doing
Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to thank you for coming today. Just going to introduce the board real quick for everybody that's following along at home. Down on my left is Lucy McConaughey. Next to her is Jim Curtella. He will be coming in a few minutes. Beth Kennedy, Betty Ann Peck, Kristen Hanowitz, alternate Tracy Rappa, and Carol Mordawanek is unfortunately out this evening, and I'm Chairman Richard Demko. So what we're going to do today, we're going to hear from the Buildings Department. We were going to hear from IT, but unfortunately we had to reschedule IT due to illness. So Building Departments will be our first presenter tonight and the only presenter tonight. So with that, I'll open it up to our first public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment going twice? Any public comment going 3 times? Hearing no public comment, the first public comment is closed, and we will move on to item number 4, which is the presentation of our budget from the Buildings Department. Please state your name and title for the record.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Tim Connors, Facilities Director for Board of Ed and for the town. In front of you guys have my budget that we proposed. We'll go over a few items. If there's any questions, please just stop me as we go. I'll go line item. I'll do sections at a time. For the first top 3 sections, we have our salaries, which are contractual of the increases. That brings us down to 4 lines. The only additional one we have overtime. As you can see in the past, since 21 to 23, we actually reduced our overtime usage, which is great. But this year moving forward, we asked for an increase of 4,000. Reason for that is the library and the community center are adding more programs on the weekends, which in turn is going to require us to provide overtime of custodial staff to be there. That's the only reason why I put that in there for that. I mean, it's something you could work with, but they are increasing their programming of those 2 spaces, and that's what it's for. Next one that we have here is water. We increased it by, it says 25%, and the reason for that is last year we reduced it by 5,000 for some reason, because our actual was the 20,000, so we're just trying to bring it back up a little bit to where it was, plus any increases that we may see this year. Contractual service, everything stays the same. Repairs and maintenance. As you know, our buildings are getting older. I say this every year. We did for all of our buildings. I'm asking from 90 to 110, which is a 22% increase. Right now we're at 76,000. We have 5.5 months more to go. We're going to be over. I probably will be back to you at some point in the future for a transfer. We're trying to eliminate that, but again, there's only so much. We're trying to do preventive maintenance as much as we could, but there's always repairs that we're always going to deal with. So with those 2 items, actually 3, so the police department, the fire department also. So the fire department, you actually bumped it up last year for us, thank you. So we're not asking for too much of an increase there. We're just trying to even it across the amount of buildings we do have. Then we'll go down to town utilities. That's our bigger one. What we did is we took our actuals and of what we spent right now, and for the next 5.5 months, that's the number that we're actually going to be seeing is the increase. The increase is what we're going to end up at the end of this year. So it's not like, and that's not even including anything that's coming down the line. Hopefully, we might see some reductions. You never know it, because again, at home, same thing. Your electricity bill it fluctuates all the time. So we don't know what's coming down the pipe. So those numbers right there are actual numbers that we're going to be seeing at the end of the year. So we're probably going to come back to you for a transfer. We've done everything we can for the most part. you know, the LED lighting, switches, overnights, the only thing, you know, the only next thing is shutting the buildings down, you know, a day at a time, which, you know, again, the weekends were closed. It's just, they want to do more programming, so that's going to play into effect of this also. So the big picture is whenever the building's open, you know, everything's run, electrical, lighting, you know, heating systems, air conditioning. So it's good to offer more programming for everybody, but again, there's still a cost to it. So we just want to keep that in mind. Same thing with all the electrical on the whole list is pretty much just our actuals that what we're going to be seeing this year. Like, again, the library, we have, you know, our budget was 25. We're at 18 already. It's not a pretty picture. It is what it is. There's nothing more I could say about the electricity. And that's pretty much my budget for the most part. I know it shows a 19.53% increase. The majority of it is the electrical. So, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Okay. Thank you. So, my first question in regards to building repairs.
Mhm.
I mean, is there anything major that you are anticipating needing to repair in this budget?
Well, we took care of, not in this budget. I mean, this is just our basic, how do I say it, would not being like, you know, emergency repairs.
Okay.
Because right now we have our contractual pricing that we take care of. We do our preventive maintenance, our filters. We go through, we change, you know, we change the belts. They do that every year for everything that we own in town. We just approved through ARPA funds, we're going to do the PD rooftop, which is 24 years old.
Okay.
That was a big expense. I think it was $290 or $350? I don't have it in front of me.
It was approximately.
Yeah. So which we paid that with the ARP funds. Our next biggest item that I foresee is the rooftops at the library. That's going to be our next, because we're pushing 25 years, and there's four units on the roof, plus we have the two new ones that were put in for the basement area before I started for the first floor. Those are newer, but the rooftop units they're coming of age. So again, knock on wood, we service them, we keep them running, we do what we can to keep them going, but eventually we're gonna have to. I know Suzanne's looking at any grants that are available to
Okay.
put towards that. That's our next best option right now. Besides coming up with, you know, you're probably looking at 125,000 per unit when it comes down to it. So
Okay, so now we get down to overtime
yes.
and keeping the buildings open for weekend programs,
Yep.
evening programs. How many of those programs would you say are revenue-generating programs?
You're probably 25% of what she has right now for our weekend programs.
Okay,
What we do is anytime there's an outside organization that wants to use it, we charge them for our custodian. We don't charge them for any fees. We don't make money on it. We just cover our costs. So we figured out our hourly with Jay of overtime, you know, MERS, everything that goes along with that number. So it's just not like a $25 hour number. You know, don't hold me to it. It's like $56.79 what it comes down to for the total.
okay,
So some people don't like it, but again, it's the cost of doing business for us. We're not making any money on it, but we just got to cover our cost.
right.
We don't charge electricity. We don't charge paper towels. We don't do any of that. Unless it's like a larger party, like if there's 200 or over or something like that. Because we have some people that rent it for actually birthday parties and stuff like that. So we have to provide some stuff.
Okay,
So
all right. Yeah, and then obviously, you know, electricity kind of is what it is. Out of your electricity costs in here, how much of that is going towards the public benefit? Do you know that offhand?
I don't know that offhand.
Okay. Do
It's-
we
it's-
know
it's a good
about
chunk.
how much our public benefit is every month that we're paying into?
I would imagine a majority.
Yeah, because right now you look at I'll take the community center. Like last month's bill is like $4,700 for the month.
Yep.
So again, I don't know what the percentage is for the public benefit on that, but I could get that to you guys. I could break it down for what we paid so far since it started for each one.
Right.
I could get that for you.
Okay, because I believe at some point in the very near future, that's supposed to be ending. Jason, did you get anything from the state on that, from Pura or anything? No? Okay. I mean, it's something to look into, because that's going to, I think, play into a little bit, when it comes down to figuring this all out. If that public benefit is going to be going away, that we won't be paying into, then I would expect to see these electrical numbers come down a little
That'd be
bit.
Huge savings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah, if we can take a look at that, maybe that'll be the first a matter of business to research throughout the budget process. Okay, I don't have any further questions, so we're going to do what we usually do here, and we're going to go down the line, and everybody will have an opportunity to ask questions. So first, we'll start with Lucy. Do you have any questions? And make sure you turn your microphone on to speak.
Press down and hold it. Hold it till it turns green.
There you go. Okay, you're on.
Okay, my concern is the increase in the electricity and the water. That's my concern mostly, are we recuperating enough to cover some of that additional time?
Honestly, I mean, the more programming that she's offering isn't cost effective for us. We're not gonna recoup any money on any additional programming that she does on the weekends, because it's more geared towards what they're offering, not what like somebody else from an outside entity's coming in and doing.
Are we going to have to look at some of these programs and ask them to make it a little more cost effective?
So, I
or
think
just eat it?
I think what we'll end up doing is, once those departments come to present to us, like, for example, the community center and the library, those are questions that we can ask them, because they'll have a better handle on what the programming is, how many people attend these things, all the details of it.
Yeah, because I think we should be recuperating some of it if these are extra programs that are, beyond the normal daytime
Right.
or,
Because usually what she
Their
does,
regular
if there's
time.
any, like, paid programs, she always tries to add something in, and that's what we talked about, me and Mary, is to add in a certain charge for that. So if it's a paid program, usually if it's, that's, not everything's a paid, you can only go so much with, the basketball or stuff like that, because they're already paying so much to play basketball. It's hard
Right.
to add another fee on top of that. It's gonna push, a lot of people. to
Right,
that.
right. Yeah, that's
so,
in their, I guess, sign-up fees and
correct.
whatnot.
Yeah.
well, actually, those are some of the programs that have been there right along. So
Correct,
it's no
exactly.
additional cost as far as that. It's additional as far as, but not additional.
Like
But
there's a lot,
time-wise.
like she does the father-daughter dances now, which they all go in and we take care of the gym, we dress it all up, and they all come in, everybody brings their, father-daughters come in. She charges just an actual fee, what her costs are, so it's kind of like, it's a startup program, so you don't want to scare everybody away by adding, $30 a person for electricity or for, we usually try to, she tries to do them on Friday night, so I already have a custodian on, so there's no custodial cost, but we still have the building open, the lights on, everything that goes along with it.
Sure.
Anything else?
That's basically my concern.
Okay, Bev, just make sure you hit your microphone.
Yeah, I just had one question. On the rental of the postage machine,
Yeah.
you have a separate one than the tax collector has?
I'm not sure on that. Is that, they put that in my budget, is that part of the town?
Yeah.
I think it's everybody's, so it falls under my budget.
Oh, it's everybody's?
Everybody.
Everybody in the town, so like the tax collector, nobody else will have that in theirs?
No.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Anything else, Bev?
No?
Okay, Betty Ann.
Electricity, I guess, is the biggest concern when we see it. Did any aspect of the solar plan that we signed on to affect any of these buildings?
That was, we're just gonna know. That was all the schools.
Great. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Kristen.
I'm good.
Tracy. No. Okay, I don't have anything else. But, like usual, if we come up with something for you between now and the end of this, the board does reserve the right to recall
Yep.
And you come back and tell us whatever we come up with that we might want to know.
Perfect. And I'll get that public benefit total for you also.
Excellent. That would be great.
Yeah.
And again, Jason, if you could do a little research as to, if there's any talk of that, when it's coming to an end, that'll be very beneficial in helping us make our decisions up here as we get a little further along in the process. Excellent. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. So item number 5 would be our second public comment. Anybody else from the public here wish to speak? There's nobody here, but going once, going twice, going 3 times. Second public comment is closed. Item number 6, correspondence. There isn't any correspondence. We just started tonight, so we'll see what happens as we go along. Item number 7, new business. Okay, so let's take a look at our schedule here. Okay, so this is going to be changing, and again, this is kind of a, fluid document that will change, Fortunately, sometimes people get ill, they're gonna have to reschedule, other things come up. IT tonight, that's gonna get rescheduled. Jason, have you found a place for them yet on the schedule?
IT is going to present on Wednesday, February 19th.
Yeah, don't you have a new schedule?
I don't have the new schedule.
Oh, it was in the book.
Okay, Wednesday, February 19th. All right, so I'll write that in.
have an actual breakdown of who's coming? 'Cause that's the last that I got through my
Oh, no, that was from our,
So,
that was from our reports, but it should be in your book. Is it in your book?
Should be in the flap of your book.
Yeah.
so February 19th.
not in the
was
book.
No, it's not
named
yours?
that
No,
Community
it's
Service,
not in the
Fire
book.
Department,
It was in my book.
Communications,
And then fire marshal and then
Fire
IT.
Marshal, and then Town IT.
Correct.
And I am
Could we
out.
get a copy made of this?
Pass that-
Take
pass
take a
that down.
picture of this.
Sure.
Just-
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, and if you have an extra one, I'll take the updated copy as well.
Or you want to take a picture of
Perfect.
mine?
No, it's all right, I'll get a hard
Okay.
copy.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so we have that situated. So coming up next on Wednesday, which is February 5th, we have the police department. Oh, thank you. Ask and I shall receive. That's excellent. All right, so we have the police department coming up on Wednesday. That is still on and good to go. And then coming up for the February 10th, we will not be doing a hearing. We will not be meeting on February 10th, and we will be moving everything that was scheduled for February 10th. It will be absorbed into the schedule. Okay? So is there any,
Soon to be announced.
soon to be announced, yes. So as you contact the DPW Parks and Library, just give us updates as to where they're coming in.
I'll have an update on Wednesday where everybody can fit.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Any other questions in regards to the schedule? Lucy? No? Lucy?
No, I'm good.
No, okay. Bev?
I just needed the new one.
Betty Ann? Kristen? Tracy? Okay. So with that, my watch says 7:17, so we will adjourn our first budget workshop of the year.
Yippee!
This is great.